Welcome to the video presentation using CoreFTP software to transfer files. This is your instructor, Christopher Van Oosterhout. In CIS 257, you can use whatever client software program you'd like to FTP files. As we've mentioned previously, FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. And this is the process you'll use to move files from your development computer, the one you're working on, to the MCC student server. Even though you can use whatever software program you'd like to accomplish the FTP movement of the files, the class examples will use the software called CoreFTP. I provided a previous video outlining how to download and install the CoreFTP program. If you're using an MCC lab computer, you should already have access to the CoreFTP program. If you need to download and install a copy on your own computer, please refer to the video titled Downloading and Installing CoreFTP. This video assumes you have already installed the program on your machine. The first thing we'll do is go ahead and locate the program. You should be able to do that any number of ways. There may be an icon left from the installation process that's a shortcut on your desktop, like this one here. Or it may be in your program list, such as right here. Or if you're using Windows 7, you should be able to just type in Core and it should come up on your list. In any case, we'll go ahead and get it started. You likely will see this square box in the middle of your screen called Site Manager. If you don't and you see something like this, you'll want to start Site Manager. Just go to Sites and then Site Manager. The first thing we need to do is get your FTP program set up so it can communicate with the student server. For the site name, it doesn't really matter what you put here. It just should be something descriptive that you'll remember. I'm going to go ahead and write in MCC student server. The host address is kind of like the URL. It's just going to be student.muskegoncc.edu. Your username will be the same as your typical MCC username. In my case, it's my last name and my first initial. You'll then want to fill in the password. All your other settings should work the way they are entered by default. The port, the timeout, the retries. Make sure that your connection setting down here is selected on FTP. You can see there's several choices. We're just going to want to keep it as FTP. Next, you'll want to press Connect. You'll now see a screen that shows two windows, one to your left and one to your right. The left will be things on your computer. The right will be things on the student server. You can browse in this just like you would in a Windows Explorer window. You'll want to go to student.mcc and you should see your name as well as other students listed there. You'll want to select your name. In this case, I'll select Van Oosterhout C. Now you can see the structure of my area on the server. Moving files to and from these areas is pretty simple. Let me go to my desktop. Let's just say I want to move over the addendum to the MCC course syllabus. I'd select the directory where I want that to go in. Now your listings will have far fewer directories in them. I'm just going to say I want to put that in the images directory. I'll open that. I can select it, push the arrow button, and it will move it over. The opposite will also work. If I have something on the student server that I want to move to my machine, I'll select it, highlight it, then click the arrow going to the left or back to my machine. It's now moving back over to my machine. Now it recognizes that that file already exists on my machine and asks how I'd like to proceed. In this case, I'm going to say overwrite it. So that's the very basics of getting CoreFTP started and being able to use it to move files back and forth.